in every 66 minutes, someone in America will get killed as they are walking, and a pedestrian. There's data that came from all 50 states, and it shows, and here's the language. This is not my language, and I didn't highlight this. It says, pedestrian deaths have gone up a shocking 77% compared to 25% of all other traffic fatalities over the past 11 years. It comes from what's called the Governor's Highway Safety Administration. This is just nutty, right? You think about it, we are driving allegedly safer vehicles with, special air brakes, and we all have these sensors on our cars, and yet deaths are increasing overall by 25%, which is a problem, and then pedestrian deaths the highest. And this is important because when we're talking about statistics, we're talking about the question of foreseeability, and that is a legal concept for anyone applying this law, and particularly with regards to wrongful death, right? Was it foreseeable that if I did X, Y, Z, someone and I wanted to share some more material from the CDC. And of course, the number one finding here is not surprising, that speed is the increased likelihood of pedestrian deaths. It just makes sense, right? The faster you're going, the slower your reaction time to something weird going on the road. But I think particularly interesting is this statistics, if you get to drive down or a little bit further in the data, and that says, of the 60 roads that have the most pedestrian deaths, which is nutty, most of these were in situations of commercial or retail space. What is that? That's when you have like a Lowe's and you have a bookstore and you have restaurants, and people are walking around either in the parking lots or crossing streets. And here there are deaths that are occurring when the foreseeability of death or injury is well known, right? When you're driving around these areas, you got to know that there are people also walking around. They are also in a rush. And that is very important, that people are simply not paying attention while they're driving. The other piece, of course, on the CDC website, which is not surprising, and that is alcohol plays a huge role, right? 50% of all deaths, alcohol is playing a role, either from the driver or the pedestrian or the walker themselves. So what is the kind of basic take-home lessons here? And that is, number one, always drive slower. The slower you drive, the safer you are. Two is don't drink and drive. And then three is don't walk and pay attention to your phone, and don't drive and pay attention to your phone. And finally, if you're a pedestrian, and like I said, I'm a little bit dorky, when I go out and I'm jogging late at night, I'm wearing a reflective hat or reflective gear. And that's finally the probably important issue, is that pedestrians are in fact getting picked off and being injured and dying. Be safe out there. Thank you.